Welcome to Small Business University Online, powered by Small Business Expo, America's biggest business trade show and conference. We want to extend a very special thank you to AT&T Business for supporting small business and being our presenting sponsor. Please be sure to check out our complete webinar schedule and all on-demand recordings from previous webinars on smallbusinessuniversity.online. All of our webinars are free and full of incredible information to help you grow your business. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available within 24 hours on smallbusinessuniversity.online. At this time, we are turning the public chat feature off for the presentation. We will reopen the public chat window closer to the end so that you can post your questions for our presenter to answer during the open Q&A portion. And now, I'm very excited to introduce today's webinar. Please take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert Bura. I'm what's called the public adjuster. For those of you, or most of you have not heard or understand what a public adjuster is, we are public advocates. We're licensed by the state's banking insurance commissions where we operate. We represent the best interests of the property owner against the insurance company. Today, I'm going to teach you some of the dirty little secrets that the insurance companies are banking on you not understanding. So for most people, their home is their most important asset. And when you purchase a house, you buy a mortgage for the most of the time, and you're responsible for maintaining the value of that asset with the bank. Many people do things to increase the value of their property. Should a tree fall in the house, a hurricane, whatever, you have a financial responsibility to maintain the value of your property. This insurable interest is something that the insurance company does not share with you. Okay? I'm going to teach you how insurance companies provide coverage. Again, the dirty little secrets, why you do not want to handle a claim on your own. And we're going to show you different options you have when filing claims and how you obtain money for damages. Okay? In fact, there are actually 8 different types of homeowner policies. There's 3 types of policies for people who own property and do not live in them and then rent them out for investment purposes. Knowing what's in your policy is really important. Knowing it's not under your policy is as important. How much do you have? Do you have the right amount of insurance, in the right way? What are your deductibles? Insurance companies are getting really aggressive with fiscal gaps in policies. What happens if you file a claim? Oh, my rates are going to go up. Well, secret number 1, no, but they do. What do you mean? I mean that damage for something like a tree falling in a house, something related to nature, the insurance companies are not supposed to raise your rates. In fact, you may be entitled to as many, potentially, as 3 claims every 5 years without that happening. Does it happen? Yes, all the time. The insurance companies are constantly raising your rates. Why? Because you don't know the truth. You don't know your rights, which I'm going to teach you. I had a tree fall in my house in 2015 after 18 years of owning my property and never calling the insurance company. The first thing is I struggled to get $18,000 out of my insurance company. Had I known then what I know now, I would have been $30,000 to $40,000. In addition to that, I opened up my declaration pages that I get every year, that you get every year, that you either don't look at and file away, or that you can't read it because you don't know what you're looking at. But I saw that my rate was over $3,000, and that's triple what it was 18 years ago. Now, did I expect my rates to go up? Yes. Did I expect them to be triple? No. So I called my insurance company, and I asked them why my rates went up, and I was told, we gave you all that money a few years ago. You've got to pay it back somehow. We're not a not-for-profit company. On top of that, when I asked them, what about the 18 years of premiums I paid? Oh, we don't go backwards. We only go forwards. When I became a public adjuster and learned the truth, I was able to get my insurance company to write me a letter of apology for a bookkeeping error. It's funny how they never make bookkeeping errors in our favor. Restore my rates back to where they were prior to the loss, and issued me over $2,000 in a refund for overcharges, all because I knew my rights. Insurance companies are banking on people like you and me not knowing their rights. I already answered this question. Matter of fact, it's so bad that if you call your insurance company and you have a conversation with them that's anything else other than making a change to your policy, they actually, most of the time, will consider that a claim. It's called a non-payout claim. I've seen people have their rates significantly increase and other people drop after multiple years, 10, 15, 20 years of policies and never having a claim, because they called their insurance company to ask them a question that wasn't related to making a change to their policy. Okay? Insurance companies work really hard at getting your money and keeping it. When you call your insurance company, you speak to an adjuster, you're not talking to your friend. You're not talking to someone who's looking out for your best interest. You're talking about somebody who works for the insurance company, who has the insurance company's best interest, and may very well be getting incentivized based on how little he can offer you or how many times he can deny a claim. One wrong word, I'll go into that in a minute, will get you denied your claim. It's about 20 cents on the dollar is what you're going to get from your insurance company. People like you and I need someone who is an advocate, who stands up for you, the property owner, because the insurance company sure as heck is not going to do it. Their only interest is in putting money in their pockets. We help homeowners and business owners when they have damage to their property. We provide professional representation. When you sign that policy from your insurance company, it's a policy. When you have to enforce it because there's a loss, it's a contract. Technically, a public adjuster is practicing a very niche, specific area in contract law. Once you agree to have us represent you, we train you. The only thing you say to your insurance company is, speak to my professional representative, speak to my public adjuster. He represents me, and you know better not to talk to me. But do they talk to you? All the time. Okay? So let's look at a sample. I don't want to go typical. Left to right. You have a rainstorm. Water is coming in from the ceiling by your light. Water trickles down, and as little as one piece of your wood flooring buckles, or your carpeting gets wet. Another room, the same thing happens. The next day, you look outside, and you see some water you see some shingles on the roof that are loose or that are missing. What do? Well, most people would say, I don't want rates to go up. I'm not going to call my insurance company. I was going to repaint that room. I was going to refinish that floor. Well, if you were to call the insurance company, this is what they would do. This is the 20 cents on the dollar. They replace a couple of shingles. They give you a little bit of drywall, spot tape, a coat of paint. They give you an appearance allowance to put a rug on top of that piece of wood floor that buckled. Does this get your property back to pre-loss condition, pre-loss value? No. The only purpose of insurance, or the reason you have insurance is because you have to, because the mortgage companies insist you have it to protect the asset. So you agree to pay your mortgage, and you agree to on time, and you agree to maintain the value. Well, will this get your property back to pre-loss value, pre-loss condition? Definitely it would not. We remind the insurance companies, I keep hitting the wrong button, that's slides. We remind the insurance companies multiple times an hour that our client has an insurable interest in the property that you, the mortgage company, the insurance company does not have. What does this mean? This means that we will, in many cases, get you all or most of your money up front before you get any work done. If you've had anybody who's had an insurance claim, how arduous it is to get money and to get all the money out of the insurance company. Insurance companies have no right to play that game. They have no insurable interest in your property. You do. We get you their money. What I'm showing you out here is getting your property back to pre-loss value, pre-loss condition. I'll hit a couple things. The roof. You don't patch the roof. The roof is interlocked. Once one is affected, the next one. So we would ask the insurance company to replace the whole siding, the whole slope, or the whole roof based on the situation. Who does more? Who does one coat of paint? What about the drywall? What about the insulation? If you have a piano, the piano is going to get moved. It's got to get stored. It's got to be brought back. It's got to be retuned. Dumpster. You can see all the different things that go into getting your property back to pre-loss condition. This is the value a public adjuster gives. Most people have never heard of a public adjuster, and it's actually 90% they've never heard or ever used. You have a legal right for a representation that you do not have to accept what the insurance company offers you. So you have a choice to either hire a lawyer who's going to charge you a third plus expenses, and that expense is probably going to be because they're going to go out and hire a public adjuster, or you hire a public adjuster. Oh, by the way, everything we do for our clients, excuse me, is free. How is that possible? What I'm saying, I'm sorry, you never put your hands in your pockets to pay us. I'm not allowed to accept anything more than a cup of coffee and a bagel from you. You never pay us anything. We get paid on the back end only once we get you and if we get you money. And the lion's share of the time when we take our clients on, we get them anywhere from 300 to 600% larger settlements than they would get for their insurance company. Every state is regulated a little bit differently. Florida is one of the most unfriendly public adjusting states in the country. This was a study that the state of Florida did after a Class 5 hurricane. For those of you who are not familiar with a Class 5 hurricane, there's no Class 6 hurricane. 5 is as bad as it gets. It blew up in their face. It showed almost a 600% increase in what a public adjuster got their clients than they got on their own. Check my time here. We're doing okay. Okay. A large percent of our business is reopening up claims that the insurance company has either unrightfully denied or has offered pennies versus what you're supposed to get. The first example up here is a church in Pennsylvania. After a storm, the insurance company told them that their roof is over 20 years old, and the roof and the damage done because of the storm is not going to be covered, and they have, I think it was 6 months to get a new roof or they're being dropped. We proved through congregant pictures, Google Maps, some other images and some other things, and we got the client covered. I can go back, a public adjuster can go back 1 year from a loss or a denial or 2 years in a fire, the same thing, same time frame on an original claim. The sooner we get involved, the better off you're going to be financially. Here, insurance company said, we're only covering the leaders and the gutters. We're not going to cover the roof. We got the client the roof. You can see here different things in situations where we were able to get our clients a significant amount of money. Every claim is different. I just had a claim where there was a broken pipe on the second floor of a bathroom. The insurance company offered the client $2,600. We just settled for $18,000. I have a vandalism case I'm in the process of settling. The insurance company offered them like $28,000. I got them $118,000. Just a little bit of a difference. Here is Allstate with another HAL example. We got them significantly more money. And here is State Farm with an accidental discharge of water. I'll explain that to you in a second, what that means versus a flood. Okay? We have a very, very high satisfaction rate from our customers. We do residential, we do commercial, and our clients like us. So if you look up public adjusters or Metro, you'll probably find mostly bad things about us online because, we always believe everything that's on the internet, right? And number two, we cost the insurance companies hundreds of millions of dollars a year, if not more. Would it not make sense that they want to do whatever they can get away with to make us look bad and to intimidate people into using us? I think so. So here are damages that are covered. Anything that's sudden and accidental is not intended, is not excluded, or has happened in a reasonable period of time. Smoke, Anybody who uses their fireplace on a regular basis most likely has smoke damage. Smoke is a carcinogen. Smoke gets into all kinds of things. Lightning. I had a client, insurance company, after it got hit by lightning, told them, bring an electrician in, we'll fix the outlets. I got them almost $18,000. I got most of their, if not all, their major appliances replaced. Okay? Ice and snow. What's supposed to be, there's a picture of a house in the bottom left-hand corner that got hit by a truck. The insurance company gave them like 50 grand. The owner was thrilled. It's my favorite slide in the whole presentation. We went in and we got him like $150,000, $160,000 more. Why? Because we informed the insured that the impact caused the foundation to come unhinged. Now, the insurance agent, the insurance adjuster for the insurance company doesn't have to look left or right, only looks at what is there or what you ask. The property owner didn't know enough to ask that question. Therefore, legally, the insurance company did not have to disclose that. Morally, that's another question. Oh, here, I have double slide here. Here's the picture. I apologize. Okay. Skylights are going to leak. It's a matter of when and how much damage they do. Here's a picture of a windstorm blowing some shingles off. The insurance company would offer a couple of dollars to replace the shingles. Doesn't get the house back to pre-loss value. And in addition to that, we would go up in the roof and look, and there's a good chance that the roof might have some damage as well. Okay? Your lawnmower, piece of wood or a pebble dings the side of your house. Well, you know what? We might have to ask the insurance company to replace the entire siding of that house. I don't know. We might. Lifted shingles, burnt embers from fireplaces. I did a claim 2 summers ago. They left their grill too close to the side of their house. I got them like $7,000 to get the siding replaced because they left the siding, the grill, too close to the house. Okay? Anytime water enters the house from above the ground, it has the potential to be an insurable claim. You're looking at the potential of thousands of dollars of damage here. Okay? I can't tell you how many claims this winter I wrote for ice and snow and ice damming. I live in northwest New Jersey, and I had about 6 or 7 feet of snow. At some points, I had over 3 feet of snow. I have multiple neighbors who have damage. Water gets in the soffits, it gets into the house, it causes damage. Burglary. The wife would say, I don't want to go back in the house because I'm uncomfortable. I don't know if the person who vandalized my house had COVID or was a drug user, intravenous drug user, blood, sweat, got on something. It looks like they were in the closets. We got to get the food replaced. I just settled a claim for $118,000 for vandalism and burglary here in North Jersey. I keep hitting the wrong button. Here's a couple of more examples of smoke. You get your heating system cleaned. Sediments are still in your heating system. First time you go use it, it puffs back. That's thousands. Smoke damage claims are tens of thousands of dollars typically. Okay, you overspray some furniture or something on your deck. You can't just wipe that off. Okay, roof leaking. Here's some other examples. I love pictures. Pictures tell 1,000 words. Okay, hail damage is very hard to see. You can look at the house multiple times in the same day and not see it. Sometimes the best way to see hail damage is the sandstone. When it hits the roof, the hail hits the roof, it collects, in the gutters, and that's how sometimes we can tell. So all of these perils here take years off your life of your roof. However, many people have a deductible ranging from windstorms to hail to tornadoes to named storms, and different insurance companies call it different things, 1% to 5%. You have a $500,000 house with a 2% deductible, you may not realize you have a $10,000 deductible. I had a client come to me in August after Tropical Storm Isaias here in the East Coast. Gave me their policy. They didn't know it. They had a $16,000 deductible for wind damage. Had no idea. I could not help them. The deductible was too high. Okay. What you're looking up in the upper right-hand corner is not a flood. Never use the F word to the insurance company. You had an accidental, so you would call the insurance company and say, my water heater burst and it flooded my basement. They would say, you don't have flood insurance, you have homeowner's insurance, and your water heater is technically an appliance. You denied. What you had was an accidental discharge of water from an enclosed pipe that was connected to the water heater. As a result, following damage occurred to my house. Anytime water leaves a toilet, it's fecal matter. It's called Class 3 water. Any tile pre-1976 is made out of lead, and the backing is made out of asbestos. As long as we can hold on to that physical piece of pipe that burst, we can get not the pipe itself, unless it's a heating pipe. We can get all the damage, all the mitigation, and all of the repair. Okay? If you show me your under your sink, and you show me the damage, and it's obvious that the damage was fairly recent, then there's a potential for an insurable risk. If that is obvious, I hate the word obvious, going on for a year or two, you have actually an obligation to mitigate your damage within a reasonable period of time. What's a reasonable period of time? Well, in this presentation, I don't have the time to go into what the definitions can vary to be a reasonable period of time. Okay? Anytime egg hits your house or something, the protein, the purine is a permanent stain. You have a tenant from hell, you own an apartment building, tenant from hell who leaves and has done a lot of damage. That is vandalism, and that can be covered if you have the right policy. So it's very important to have the right policy. If you have a house that you're renting out and you have a homeowner's policy on it, and I've had this happen to me with clients, you have no coverage because you have the wrong kind of policy. You can't prove you lived in that house. So you may be paying for coverage that you do not have. Okay? Floors. It has to be a first-time occurrence. So if I go and I see a wood floor in your kitchen and I find a piece of wood cupped up because it got wet from an overflow of your dishwasher or your sink, and that wood floor continues into the living room, and in the living room I find scratches, the insurance company is going to go, you live with this, you can live with that. It has to be a first-time occurrence. It could be multiple scratches from moving furniture to cleaning, moving a piano. I did a claim, refrigerator was pulled out, caused a 3 by 8 inch scratch. I got the client almost $12,000. Why $12,000? Because we had to pull out all the cabinetry to get to the flooring that was under the cabinetry. And guess what? Putting it back would have not worked because it would have cracked, it would have fractured, it would have not gone in properly. Now, I got the client control of the money. Did they replace the flooring? I don't know. Could they have gotten away without replacing it? They could have, but I don't know. You ever walk on a carpeting that buckles when you walk? It's gotten wet. And the backing that holds it to the ground disintegrates. It's called the lamination. Now, if that's 1,000 feet of wall-to-wall carpeting in the whole second floor of your house, the only way to get your property back to pre-loss condition is to ask the insurance company to replace the entire run of the carpet. Laminate floors. Well, laminate floors aren't wood. They can't be repaired. They've got to get pulled up, and they've got to be replaced. Okay? Crack tiles. I had a client whose wife dropped an iron cast pot on a tile floor, size of a quarter. Got her about $12,000, I think. It was 12. I forgot the exact amount, because you can't just pull up that one little piece of that square of the tile. It's one solid cement bed. So we would ask the insurance company the only way to properly repair the floor is to pull out the whole floor. Now that was like about 1,300 square foot continuous run. Stupidity is covered. If you spill bleach, you do anything that's stupid, like your kid comes home, how's time? Yeah, your kid comes home like 3 hours past curfew, you punch a hole in the wall because you're arguing with them. Potentially, that is something that could be covered. Would you want to do that for that? No. But what happens if something comes flying off the wall, and now your $5,000 or $7,000 dining room table is damaged? Those are the kind of things that are covered. So then we're wrapping up here, and I think we can open up for questions here. The next thing I would do if I was sitting down with you, we would then sit down. I would sit down with you, and I would take a look at your insurance policy, and I would point out to you things that you have problems. Problems we see. I mentioned, a 3% deductible for wind damage. Your house may be insured for $500,000, but you may only have $100,000 of liability. If your house more than 2 or 3 years old, it would need something for updates and codes and ordinances. So if a tree falls on the house and a couple of skylights break, and those skylights are 20 years old, they don't meet your code, the town codes, you'd have to pay at least $500, maybe even more per skylight to get it repaired before the glass is repaired. If you live in a homeowners association, if you live in a homeowners association, you may be open to tens of thousands of dollars if a bad storm comes in. Do you have water backup coverage? Do you have a sump pump? I've seen people with sump pump coverage without a sump pump. I've seen people with sump pumps without sump pump coverage. Do you get your water and your sewage from the town? Once the pipe that runs across your street, you touch to go into your house, you need to have something called inline service. That would cover it. That's thousands of dollars of damage, thousands of dollars of backups. That's basically the end of my presentation. And at this point, if I was sitting down with you, I'd ask you for some referrals if you like what we do. So we have questions. So Elsa says, what if you rent and you have mold through the window? Well, if you rent, you have renter's insurance, which only covers your personal property. The claim would be with the property owner because he owns the property. You don't have the insurable interest. Now, if it was a condo, for example, as opposed to a rental, the condo association is responsible for the outside, the common area. Inside yours is going to be you. So if that was you were a condo owner and you had that, then that would potentially be a combination of where the damage is coming from. I always look, an example of water, where is the water coming from? Is it coming from the ground? Is it coming from a leak in the attic, in the roof? Always important to know where it's coming from. That's one of the biggest questions we get. We have any more questions? Otherwise, I'll just go into a couple other things. People want to know, is am I responsible for the damage if I buy a property and I find that it has damage in it after I buy it? The answer to that would be, well, you have to own the property in order for there to be an insurable interest. So if you buy a house, like you're flipping a house, for example, and you find that there's a crack in the tile, well, because you did not have an insurance policy on the house when that occurred, then it would be the responsibility of the previous people. So you wouldn't be able to claim that. In short-term rental, well, short-term rental, Aaron, it's the same thing. In a rental, you're only insuring your personal property. You're not insuring the building itself. Again, that would go to the property owner. That's the difference. Hopefully you understand the difference to that. So your damage, as I mentioned before, needs to happen in a reasonable period of time. And we have no questions here. I'll talk about a few other things unless some have questions. What's a reasonable period of time? Well, a reasonable period of time varies by insurance company to insurance company. I had a claim, and I'm not going to mention insurance companies' names or anything, but the owners of the property had the audacity to go away for a long weekend. Imagine going away for a long weekend. Who goes away for a long weekend? Well, they went away for a long weekend. They came home and they discovered that there was a little ocean, a little river in the basement, fully finished basement. Well, the insurance company's initial reaction to them was, you didn't notify us within 24 hours, so you didn't notify us within a reasonable period of time. Well, after about 8 months, we finally threatened to sue the insurance company. And when we sue them, we can sue them for as much as triple damages. My field adjuster discovered that this insurance company had recently lost a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for exactly what the insurance companies were doing. So what did this mean? So we went back to them and said, we have two choices here. You can either settle, or we can sue you for triple damages. And by the way, we will state, I don't want to give, I don't have the exact example. We're going to state a lawsuit that your company recently lost. Well, within about 10 days, my client had about $18,000 in their pockets. So I ask everybody I talk to 3 questions. 1, do you trust your insurance company? Number 2, if you are going into a litigation with somebody, against somebody, would you be using the same lawyer as them? Or would you want somebody representing you and your best interests? And number 3, are you aware that 90% of property insurance policies are incorrect? That they contain deductibles, exclusions, or missing provisions that will, given enough time, cost you anywhere from hundreds to hundreds of thousands of dollars. The average property owner spends $30,000 in coverage while owning the property and never uses it. That money goes directly into the pockets of the insurance company executives in the forms of bonuses. I want to show you how that money, I don't really need to show you, I want to get some of that money in your pockets where it's better spent. Everybody who owns property has issues with their property. What I do is I can come in, potentially, and find you money to address those or other issues that are staring in your face. The money is tax-free for you, and when I do my educational policy coverage reviews, I would say 75 to 80% of the time, through the presentation I just showed you or other presentations I have, the property owner either self-identifies or together we identify issues in that house that could potentially be insurable loss of thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. Of that, 75 to 80% of the time, 75% of the time, roughly, it turns out to be an insurable loss, or my field adjuster finds something else that's a much better insurable loss. Okay. We have another question. What percent of disbursement ID your fee? I think you're asking what our fee is. Our fee it ranges. It's based on the situation, and it can be anywhere from 10 to 35%. But still, I'm getting you 300 to 600% more money. I'm getting you the money in your pocket. And if there's a claim where there's more than 2 crafts involved, let's say a tree falls in a house, you need a tree person, you need a roof person, and you probably need a contractor because there's a leak somewhere in the house. We get what's called overhead and expenses. It's 20%. So that 35% becomes 15%. But meantime, I explained to you, you will only get about 20 cents on the dollar, and we're going to get you a lot more money. Now, what you need to understand, one of the other big fallacies, are that your insurance policy doesn't state that if X happens to you, you're going to get every penny you need to repair your property. It doesn't work that way. The insurance company is there to give you as little as they can physically give you, get away with. Our job is to make sure that you get every penny that you desire to get. Hopefully that answers your question. What time is it? Not too many questions today. Normally, when I do these presentations, I get a lot more questions here. So who pays my fee? I get paid on the back end from the insurance company. The insurance company, I get a percent of the settlement on the back end. The check comes to us, and we disperse the money out because we don't want to have to go chasing after our clients for the money. But if there's no payout, everything we do is free. So what happens is if we identify the basis for an insurable claim, you sign an agreement for us to represent you. We notify the insurance company, not that there's a claim, just that we're representing you. Then my field adjuster goes out and scopes out the claim. Yes, this is a good claim. We agree to move forward. We represent you. You do not talk to the insurance company from that point on. Or, no, we found a better claim. So let's go with this claim because this claim will probably get you more. It's going to get you significantly more money. Or if there's no claim, we tear it up, and the insurance company it never knows. No, we do. I do not. We do not sell anything. Okay, I do not help you select an insurance company. I can make recommendations, and then I always recommend not using somebody that advertises on TV because you're paying for that somehow. The insurance companies that do the least favorable job of taking care of you are the ones that spend billions of dollars of advertising. You always want to go to an independent insurance agent. They're better trained, they're more knowledgeable, they represent multiple carriers and can get you the best deal with someone who you're not paying their advertising for. How do insurance companies pay legal fees for harassing lawsuits by a neighbor? How do you get the insurance companies to pay legal fees for harassing a loss? Well, without knowing any of the details of that, Rhonda, I'm not sure I can comment on that. I don't have enough information to give you there. But again, I don't want to even get involved in that question because I don't give out legal advice. I give you advice out and information, and my field adjusters can help you with some of those specific things. Okay, what is an average out-of-pocket fee homeowners may have to pay to a firm if insurance payout is not enough to cover? I think what you're asking, how much it depends. It depends on the situation. Every situation is different. There are cases where you do get enough money. The insurance companies and our adjusters use a program called Xactimate, which is based on your zip code. And if you need how much plywood what kind of wood you need, whether it's plywood, oak, how many meters, how many feet, whatever you need. And those numbers are retail. So you can go out and get different contractors into a competitive bidding situation. I will tell you that we will identify, like I told you, significant more damage than the insurance company will find for you. I can't answer a specific question like that. Just give you a general idea of that. Just understand that the insurance company, I forgot the study that was recently done, nationwide study. My regional manager just told me about this yesterday, and that I think the last one was like 17 cents on the dollar. And again, 17 cents of what they notice. We're trained. My field adjusters have an average of 20 plus years of experience. The insurance company adjusters gets more time trained on how to deny claims. I already told you they get incentivized by denying and minimizing claims. My guys know their business. I've had a couple of recent claims where the insurance company actually took the quote, the estimate that my field adjuster gave him and said, good, we'll go with that, because now he doesn't have to do that. It is normal for homeowners to cover personal liability. Well, that's one of the gaps I often see. We often see if the house is insured. Like I said, I did a policy the other day review. The house was insured for $833,000. $150, $200 a square foot, more or less, based on what part of the country you are, what neighborhood you have, what kind of fixtures and everything. It's the property itself. So if you took the house and you turned it upside down, everything that came out of your house is personal possession. Everything that stayed there is a dwelling. The policy amount is meant what it would cost you to rebuild a house if total loss, or for you to buy a comparable house. If your house burns up or is destroyed, you don't have to have it repaired. You have the option of taking the comparable money and buying a new house. Again, it's based on your policy. So in this case, the house should not have been insured for more than $600,000. So they were overinsured, number one, their liability was $100,000. That's a fiscal gap of over $700,000. So if they ever got sued for their largest asset, their home, they've lost their home. They've lost their house. They had no umbrella policy. It was just that one policy. We only have a few minutes. Oh, yes, that's Lynn. That's yes. Lynn said we only have a few minutes. Hopefully, I've given you some insight into this. I want to let everybody know. I'm going to throw into the chat my contact information. Anybody wants to get hold of me. My company is running a promotion. I'm running a promotion. Anybody who lets me do a policy review before the end of the month will receive a $25 American Express gift card. Not a digital card, not an electronic card, but in the mail, a physical. And the only obligation here from you is to send me a copy of your declaration pages and to sit down over a Zoom for about half an hour and review everything with you and go over that. That's the only obligation that is required, and I hope that some people take me up on this. Please get hold of me. I have my Linktree information in there. You want to learn? I'm also, our company also hires people to do this, trains people to do this. I'm licensed in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Maryland, and West Virginia, but the company I work for is the only nationwide public adjusting company in the country. We can write a claim in every state in the country. Most other public adjusters only deal with large catastrophic, unless it's $50,000, $40,000, $100,000. They don't want to get involved. No claims too small for us. The only claim too small for us, it doesn't make sense. You have $1,000 deductible. You have a $2,000 or $3,000 claim. It may not make sense, but it's larger than that. It's my pleasure and honor to be here this afternoon, and I really thank you for all the questions. And hopefully, I'll be speaking to some of you in the future. Never hesitate to reach out to me by email, by text message, by phone call. I usually respond to my emails, and no question is unimportant. This is an industry where most people are walking around without taking the blue pills in the matrix and waking up, and the insurance companies are trying to make sure that it stays that way. They're spending a lot of money trying to make you afraid, to make you fearful and understand your rights. Public adjusters, we wear the white hats. We're here to help you. If there's no other questions, I'll give it a second to see any more questions. I want to thank Lynn, who's behind the scene, who's helping me today, and is my technical guru on this. And I want to thank everybody. I wish you a good day, and hopefully you're learning a lot from this expo, and we're sitting on some others. Thank you very much.